Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're happy. I'm happy to be upright and walking. Yeah. Well, I got a little sciatic pain going on today, and yeah. Anyway, that's all right. I'll be okay. I'm taking the steps to do what I need to do because I've been living with chronic pain for over 50 years, and I'm not going to go on about that because I'm not a victim. I caused all the problems that I have in that area. All right, everybody, here we go. It's the day of Freya. Well, actually, it's the day of the other one. What's her name? Odin's wife. Anyway, and it's all about family and relationships and love and all that kind of great stuff. Frigga. Yeah. Anyway, so the great day to get in touch with your Venus aspect if you're into planetary stuff. If you're not, oh well. You know, I'm not a Christian, but one thing I always like biblical: love thy neighbors, I love thyself. And first of all, let's look at the last part: love yourself. That's the big deal that we need to do. We all, and I know there's people out there who are like this, and this is great. And I've been like this too. I did a lot of work in that area. We need to practice self love, unconditional self love. Now, let's go with another slogan that I picked up years ago and all the self-development stuff that I did, which is we're perfectly imperfect. We're human beings. Now, we've been asked always by religion, especially by that Judeo-Christian nonsense. Now, look, if you're Christian, great. If you're evangelical Christian, great. If you're evangelical theocratic Christian, go fuck yourself, okay? Yeah, I'm not down with that, and you're not okay. And I don't want you having political influence, okay? And we need to take all those goddamn churches that are spewing politics and make them pay taxes. Yeah, especially the megas. They need to pay mega taxes. Anyway, enough of that. Anyway, loving yourself is the primary tenet here. And we need to accept ourselves unconditionally for who we are, what we do, what we think, and what we believe. Now, here's the problem with that. Most people don't look at what they're thinking. This is what my experience has been in dealing with tons of people every day for years and years since I've been in the sales field, which is getting to close to 50 years now, okay? And so what I've learned about people is they don't know themselves. Not everybody, but a lot of people are like that. I couldn't give you a percentage, but it's pretty high. So if you know yourself, then you can begin the process of accepting yourself for what you think and what you believe. Well, if I sit and ask a person what they believe, they'll probably tell me, at least in context. But that's not my deal here. I'm not doing a book on beliefs. Okay, there's plenty of them out there. Some of them are good. A lot of them are trash. Let's put it this way. An old friend of mine, Ian Reed, told me something a long time ago about books on magic. And I think this applies across the board. Most books out there might be one or two out of 100 that are worth a read. Yeah. So I rely on experts to point out books to me which are worthy of reading. And I do a lot of reading. I don't know how many books I have. Hundreds, of course, but that's no big deal. I do a lot of reading. I read, and you should read every morning. I believe you should read. And it's good if you read print every morning. It makes it even better. I read on the internet mostly, but I do read print as well. And I recommend that. Okay, so let's move on to the order of the day. Bang, gavel goes down. Okay, the order of the day is knuckleheads. Okay, well, I really hesitate to use any derogatory terms on some of these people that I have very pointed criticisms against, because what I've found is that those terms like knucklehead, asshole, SOB, MFer, those terms are actually too good for most of these people that we're talking about these days. Yeah, and fascist, well, okay, yeah, they do kind of fit into the definition of what a fascist is. Okay, they do. And so we can categorize them as that. We can label them as that because it's true. And if somebody says, well, they're not fascist, look up the definition and talk to them about it. Yeah. Well, if they don't want to do that, well, fuck. It's kind of hard to graft a new idea on a closed mind. Okay, a little slogan I stole a long time ago. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Now, we've got a lot of idiots that are out there on TV all the time spewing bullshit. Okay? It goes from POTUS on down. And his whole group of sycophants and suckasses are causing all this problem. That's what they are. They suck ass. I really love the latest South Park. Oh, the last two South Parks where they're showing that slammed Blondie, and that's what she's getting to be. Okay, it really is scam Blondie because she's been scamming and grifting, doing legal corruption for years. Yeah, that's what she's been doing. Okay, and she deserves. He's going to pardon all these people when he goes down, and if he goes down and he dies, which so a lot of us really want him to die. We do. We don't want him to get assassinated. We don't want any drama behind it. But we just want him gone, period. And I don't really want to wish death on anyone. You know what I mean? So I got to back off on that want, okay? If this guy dies, then shitfeck is going to come in. What they call him, I've had it. Those girls are great. Those women are great. They call him Little Smokey. Yeah, he's smoky all right, and the smoke's coming out of his asshole. Okay, Little Smokey's. I'm just watching him on TV right now with his new haircut and his groomed beard. It's really funny because hog shit. Okay, so he's a second up for the commander in chief, and if the orange pus bag croaks on us, he's going to be the commander in chief. Okay, and he's got a beard, and hog shit came out with this crap about beards. You gotta have beards to be in the military. Hug shit. You are not a real military guy. You're not. You're a turd. You're a toad. You're unworthy of those epithets. Okay? He's scum. Just like most of these guys. They're scum. They're useless. They're fascists. We want them gone. Okay? So if the POS POTUS dies, then what's going to happen? Well, Vance is going to pardon all these crooks. Yeah. See, this is the problem. This gets overlooked all the time when we're talking about prosecuting these cretins. Because you know that if Trump's alive, he's going to pardon them. And if he dies and Vance becomes president, he's going to pardon them. So it's kind of useless. So we have to figure out how states can prosecute them. And where that can happen. That's why we need to get control of Congress. We need to make D.C. and Puerto Rico states. Okay, but this is not going to happen as long as you got a POS POTUS. Okay, ain't going to happen. Okay, but if it did happen, then we could really take care of these bastards, and we could make sure that they get prosecuted and go to jail, which is where they belong. They belong in jail. Okay, so if we can get them in jail and then they get pardoned, great. They spend some time in jail. They'll have a prosecution. They'll be convicted criminals, and that'll be on their record, and everybody will know. And it's just like, look at all these cretins. You got Roger Stone, one of the worst pieces of scum. Just a total no good propagandist POS. Yeah, I can go down the list. There's a long list, and these guys are not worthy of mentioning. So what we have to do, we have to reframe the entire thing. Instead of beating these guys down, which, let's face it, probably 70-80% of our people in this country have already gotten down. Yeah, they know who these people are. They know they're crooks. They want them gone. And we have to keep pushing ahead. And how we do that is by instituting solutions. We have to get solutions going. Well, there, the first solution you're going to see is the release of Epstein files, which is going to show your shit in his pants POTUS for what he is. Von Schitzenpants is going to be exposed for what he is. Now, we got to take into consideration that Michael Wolff was consulting with Epstein, telling him he should get together, telling Epstein he should get together everything he can as his own personal evidence to blackmail Trump. Yeah. So some of this may be conjecture that's been injected into the conversation. So we have to watch that. We want to try to remain factual at all costs. I laud TYT for this because they do that. But you don't be fair. Don't be fair to a convicted felon. Yeah, he's got rights like everybody else, but don't be fair to somebody like that. Don't be fair to somebody who lies all the time. No, the fair thing is, he lies all the time. He's a convicted felon. He's a scumbag. Okay? And that's too good a term for him. Most scumbags are better than that. Okay? So, what we need to do, we need to reframe the conversation, and we need to move forward with solutions to the major problems that we have. That's how we're going to get beyond all this shit. This is how we're going to fix things. The other thing we have to do, we have to get corporatists, whether Democrat, Republican, Independent, we have to get them out of both houses of Congress. They need to be out of the Senate, and they need to be out. Now, this is a long-term project, my friends. Now, we did get a bunch of progressives elected a few years back, but then that backfired with all the negative press from the middle of the road scumbag. Now, here's another thing, too. I love Jessica Tarlov, and I really like her podcast, except she's too much of a moderate. These people have sold us out, and I'm not saying she would. These people have sold us out again and again and again. They always sell us out because they cave in to the wrong side of the equation, and it is wrong. It's wrong to deny people health care. It's wrong to deny people food benefits when they don't make enough money to do it. And we need to rid ourselves of the wage-slave equation. And how do we do that? We have to adopt a more egalitarian stance. And I'm going to tell you this right up front. It's not possible through anarcho-capitalism. It's not. Capitalism is the problem, and the solution to capitalism is, here it is. First of all, we have to take these billionaires and we have to take their money away from them. Oh, God, we can't do that because you want that 0.0003% chance of becoming a billionaire. Fuck you. No. Multimillionaire? Millionaire? Okay. But billionaire? Not okay. We need to seize their assets, take them away, and give them back to the people. How do we do that? When you got a corporation, it needs to go to the people in the corporation, to the shareholders, 1, 2, to the employees. Without a cooperation, a cooperative, a sharing between employee and shareholder, it's not happening in a big corporation. Got to happen. Okay. The other thing is, too, we need to take some of these companies, break them up, and turn them into completely publicly owned, not by the state, but by the people in those communities. So if you build ABC factory on ABC Road, because they name roads after them now, okay, what community they're in? Well, that community, that county, that entity needs to own that operation, and all the people living there need to share in the profits of it. Right? Oh, God, they hate that. When you say that, that's communism, I hate it. Well, is it desirable? Let me tell you, the populist view is that people want things like this. Now, there's always going to be the sole proprietor entrepreneurs, and we need those guys because they can innovate. Those people, those men and women can innovate, and we need more women doing things and having more equal opportunities, because I'm going to tell you this, I've been managed by women for many years off and on, and their management is better than men's. In my experience, 50 years of experience, they're better. Okay, so you disagree with me. I've had good men managers as well, but let me tell you this. Women are a little bit more efficient, and they seem to be able to divest themselves of the emotions. Maybe they go home and talk to their husband, and, who knows? I don't know. But they're really good at it, and women need a bigger stake in this whole equation. Okay, we need equity. Okay, so DEI. Well, we do need to include people. They do need to have equity, and we do need to have education and experiential validation programs for people, regardless of sexual orientation, age, gender, identity, religion, regardless. We need to have equity across the board, okay? And there's nothing wrong with it. What's wrong is that you got these assholes on TV going up there and preaching against it when all they want is to enrich their donors and to enrich the corporations they work for. So tell you what, guys, I watched a movie last night. It was pretty good. It was a remake of Deathstalker. It was a little different. One of the best parts of that was the gore. Now, these people are worthy of the gore, but not the effort to commit it. So we need to commit rhetorical and legal gore on these people. We need to bust them down with programs with proactive reframing that presents solutions and takes away their flooding the zone rhetoric. That's what we have to do. So I went over my 10 minutes here for TikTok, but here we go. This is going up today. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to have a great weekend. I'm going to do my best to have one, and I'm going to stick with my integrity. I'm going to stick with my word. When I give my word on something, I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to make assumptions as much as possible, and this is what too much of is going on, I think. And also, the big thing, I see this all over the place, particularly in social media, there's a lot of victimology going on. Yeah. People are not taking full responsibility for their part in things. And that's a big deal. Clean up your side of the fence. Love yourself. Learn how to love yourself regardless of what you think are your flaws and your shortcomings, because nobody's going to live up to these ridiculous ideals that are pushed on us by most of society. So, hey, have a great weekend. Love yourself, and then love the other people around you. Like, when you get to that point, you can love others around you. And sometimes the love we receive from others helps us love ourselves even more so. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.